Hi guys, this is Debbie. Welcome back to Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today I'm going to be making a dimensional flowers card using the new hibiscus set from Spellbinders. In my last dimensional flowers video, I showed you how I created a plumeria card. Well, I made extra watercolor panels. I basically made both of the cards in one sitting, and I was just having so much fun. Anyway, I'm using the leftover panels that I made from the first card to cut out all my pieces for the hibiscus. The petal shapes and the leaf shapes are all different, so I did have to recut out a whole bunch of new things. And I actually ran out of green, so I had to make another panel before I could finish up. Just like the dies for the plumeria, there is a number etched on each of the dies telling you how many of each of these that you need to cut out for one set. I'm actually going to be making 3 flowers, so I'm going to have to cut everything out 3 times, which is why I needed more green cardstock, or rather more green watercolor paper to finish up those leaves. Just like all of the other dimensional flowers cards that I've done so far, I'm following the instructions from Susan, who is the person who actually created the set. She knows everything about creating, I guess a paper garden is how she puts it. And the first step on these hibiscus is to add a little color to the panels that I've already cut out. There is additional color usually kind of centered down in the middle of those flowers. Now, looking back at the real ones, my flowers don't really look like they should, but if you didn't know, if you weren't an expert in botanics and didn't know what the flowers actually looked like from working with them all the time, I don't think you're really able to tell. Anyway, I'm using her instructions to basically shape all of my flowers. I told you guys on the first one, on that lily card, that I have no experience making these things, and it is becoming a lot of fun to do. It does take time, but I am just amazed at the results of just applying a little pressure in different places on the paper to basically shape it. After shaping the petals, we use a medium ball stylus, I think it is, to basically cup each of the groups of petals, and then we're going to be gluing those together. Next, I'm going to be coloring up the stamen piece. This one is going to have whatever color is in the center of your flower is going to be at the bottom, and then, of course, you can color the rest of them, I guess, kind of yellow. I think that's how most of them turned out. That's kind of what I used anyway. And then, one reason why I'm doing this piece a little bit early is that we also are going to need to add some little red pieces on the ends. I don't know what they're called, but I think they're seed pods that are at the end of each of those 3 little stems there on each of our on our stamens. So I'm going to use some Nuvo drops. This is again that autumn red that I've been using on the other cards, and I need to set it on I need to put it on the front and then let that dry and then turn it over and do the same thing on the back. So these have got to dry for a bit so I can work on my leaves while those are drying. First, I'm going to add a little bit of green ink to the edges. I'm using some distress ink, and to be honest, I decided not to bother on some of the leaves because the colors don't really match. These leaves were on some watercolor paper that the panel was a lot lighter than what normal hibiscus leaves are going to be, but I still think it turns out pretty in the end. So now that I've got that little bit of inking done on each of the leaves, I'm going to add some definition, and I don't have a leaf pad that's in her toolkit that's also available from Spellbinders, so instead I'm using a notebook. I did try using some chipboard, but I think the notebook actually worked a little bit better because it had a little bit more give than the chipboard did. It's not as soft as the foam pad, but it does work, I think, a little bit better than just plain chipboard did. Now that those definition lines are drawn on there, I can go ahead and just do a little bit of shaping by pinching the end of the leaf and then just using a ball stylus to kind of curve the edges of it. Now the actual leaves are probably, I believe that they're supposed to be a dark glossy green on both sides. Oh, you can tell this does not look realistic at all. It is, I'm taking my artistic license with this one, but I love the way that they turn out. I mean, I am trying so many different things with this, and there are so many different ways that you can do it. So use your imagination and just get busy creating. Now that all of the pieces have been cut out and assembled, I'm going ahead and putting my card together. I created a background panel just using a stencil and some easy ink blending, and now I'm putting my flowers on. And I'm trying to be a little bit more patient and give that art glitter glue a little bit more time to actually grab hold. Now you guys know I'm not that patient. So I am holding two of them in place with two different ball styluses. One of them is I think it's a tool-in-one type of thing that I got at Hobby Lobby years ago that's nowhere near as nice as what I think I'm probably going to upgrade to. But this is really fun. I get to arrange my flowers the way that I want them, and they are going to look awesome on this card. Now that the flowers are on there, I'm going to go ahead and start tucking some of those little leaves around to kind of give it that fullness and look like a hibiscus bush would. This is coming together so nicely, but we're not done yet. Remember the stamens? So what I'm going to do is first I need to put my tweezers and kind of pinch the center part together so that the little arms, to me it looks like a little alien with arms. This is just my thoughts as I was doing it, but it kind of looks like that. And then I'm going to put some art glitter glue along the edge and roll it up. Now, those little arms that I was talking about, normally what you're going to see there is all of this extra pollen. So we've got the seed pods on the end, and then we've got the pollen on those little pieces that are poking out. Thing is, I don't have any fake pollen, so I didn't use any. So next we're going to glue each of those little stamen clusters into the center of each of those hibiscus flowers. You kind of want them to go at an angle so that if you do put it in any kind of like a box envelope, it doesn't get squished too badly. So I'm trying to make sure that I've got them not flat and not vertical, but kind of at a 45-degree angle-ish. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope my card inspires you to create some awesome projects, and I would love to see what you create. So come join us in my Facebook group, Crafting with Debbie, and show us your creations. There's a link in the description box below. Here are some other videos that I know you'll enjoy. Thanks again, and remember, if I can make it, you can too.